When it comes to making a milkshake or a smoothie, an immersion blender is going to be very hard to beat. So the question is this $15 immersion blender just as good as the one that costs $200? Well, let's find out. In the first test, we'll see which blender makes the best smoothie. We'll also see which one offers the best splash and splatter control. Then we'll see which one can turn ice and water into a slushy. At a price of only $15, the least expensive immersion blender that we'll be testing is made by OVENTE. They claim it creates soups, dips, purees, protein shakes, and smoothies in a flash. They claim it has a powerful 300-watt motor. It's equipped with a pulse-activated sensor and 2 blending speeds. They also claim that it's super easy to clean. And the OVENTE is made in China. Without a load, the OVENTE is close to 87 watts. At 19,252 peak no-load RPM is very fast. At about 12 inches from the sound meter, the OVENTE is at 82.5 decibels. And the OVENTE weighs 692 grams. Let's kick off the first test making a smoothie out of frozen berries. I've already zeroed the weight scale. So let's go ahead and add 10 ounces of frozen berries to the test cup. I'll also go ahead and measure out 10 ounces of water and add the water to the frozen berries. And the OVENTE is losing a lot of RPM as it's making contact with the frozen berries. However, the OVENTE did reach a peak energy use of 148 watts during the 30-second test. And the 30-second test is finally finished, and the OVENTE has a lot of unfinished business. Fortunately, I do have a couple of food experts helping me review these immersion blenders. Let's use a strainer along with some water to melt all the ground-up smoothies so we can assess how much berry mix was missed by the OVENTE. And there's quite a few berries that did not become pulverized by the OVENTE. The weight of just the berries and not the strainer is 5.8 ounces. At a price of $27 is this ZKBHOME brand. We'll just call it the ZHOME brand. They claim it has a 1100-watt full copper motor. They claim it's a 3-in-1 corded stick hand blender. It comes with a whisk and a milk frother. Perfect emulsifier for soup, smoothie, and puree. And the ZHOME is made in China. The ZHOME is around 50 watts. The ZHOME is relatively quiet at only 67.2 decibels. The ZHOME does make a lot less no-load RPM than the OVENTE at 13,353 RPM. The ZHOME weighs 806 grams. The ZHOME definitely seems more powerful than the OVENTE. However, the blender is really struggling to create a strong enough vortex to draw the berries into the blades. And the 30-second test is finished, and the ZHOME definitely looks like it did a little bit better job compared to the OVENTE. Unfortunately, the weight scale did power itself down, so the weight of the strainer plus the berries is 10.4 ounces. Subtracting the 5.7 ounce weight of the strainer, 4.8 ounces of unfinished business for the ZHOME. At a price of $32 is this Mueller brand. It's a 5-in-1 immersion blender. They claim it's a 12-speed hand mixer turbo boost. It's also supposed to have titanium reinforced blades. They claim it has an 800-watt clump destroying motor. They claim that no other stick blender matches this model's ability to crush. We're gonna test that. And the Mueller is made in China. After a couple of seconds, the Mueller settled down to around 62 watts. The Mueller does make more no-load RPM than the ZHOME at just over 15,000. And it's right at 75.7 decibels for the Mueller. And the Mueller weighs 714 grams. And the Mueller is making a lot better progress than the OVENTE and the ZHOME. The business end of the Mueller is creating a powerful vortex and shredding the frozen berries. Definitely the best yet at around 270 peak watts. And the 30-second test is finished, and the Mueller has made a pretty nice looking smoothie. It has chopped up just about all the large berries with only smaller pieces remaining. Subtracting the weight of the strainer from 7.5 ounces works out to 1.8 ounces, and the Mueller moves into the lead. At a price of $35 is this Ganiza brand. They claim it's a 5-in-1 hand blender with a max 1,000-watt heavy-duty motor. It also has 16 different speeds. The blender blade is made of stainless steel. It comes with an 800-milliliter mixing beaker. It also includes a 600-milliliter chopper, whisk, and a milk frother. And a Ganiza is made in China. After a couple of seconds, the Ganiza is just over 56 no-load watts. It does produce great blade speed at around 15,500 RPM. And a Ganiza is pretty loud at 82.6 decibels. The Ganiza weighs 866 grams. The Ganiza is off to a slow start compared to the Mueller. The Ganiza is really struggling to process the frozen berries, and it just isn't creating a strong enough suction vortex to pull in the frozen berries. And the Ganiza reached a peak wattage of around 234. Unfortunately, the Ganiza did leave behind a lot of unfinished business. I did tear the weight scale with the empty strainer. And it's 5.9 ounces for the Ganiza to move into 4th place. At a price of $36 is this Turelar brand. They claim that it has an 1100-watt motor. It's a trigger, variable speed 5-in-1 stick emulsifier and chopper. They claim effortless cleanup and scratch-free. It also includes a whisk and a frother for soup, baby food, and smoothies. The beaker and a chopper are 100% BPA-free for safe use. And the Turelar is made in China. After a few seconds, the Turelar is around 56 no-load watts. It doesn't make as much blade speed as some of the other brands at just over 13,000 RPM. And the Turelar is very close to sending 74.4 decibels. And it's 810 grams for the Turelar. The Turelar is off to a really slow start and it seems to be overwhelmed by the frozen berries. And the Turelar briefly made it to 124 watts before dropping to around 80. The design of the blade in the head just isn't working well for lifting the berries into the path of the blade. Unfortunately, the Turelar left just about all the frozen berries untouched. And the Turelar moves into 5th place at 8 ounces of frozen berries remaining. At a price of $55 is this KitchenAid brand. They claim their 4 stainless steel blades can quickly blend ingredients for smoothies, milkshakes, soups, and hummus. It has a US patented removable pan guard. Includes a 3-cup BPA-free blending jar. It also comes with a dishwasher-safe blender arm. And the KitchenAid is made in China. The KitchenAid is around 59 watts after a couple of seconds. The KitchenAid makes the least amount of RPM yet at just under 11,700 RPM. The KitchenAid is relatively quiet at 66.5 decibels. And it's 792 grams for the KitchenAid. The KitchenAid is off to a much better start than the Turelar and is quickly attacking the berries. And the KitchenAid did reach a peak energy use of around 157 watts. With each attempt, the wattage is increasing as the KitchenAid is shredding the berries. The KitchenAid definitely made a decent looking smoothie, but still some unfinished business. And 3.9 ounces is good enough to move into 2nd place behind the Mueller. At a price of $59 is this Cuisinart brand. It has a 2-speed fingertip slide control. They claim the motor produces 300 watts. Includes an 8-inch stainless steel blending shaft. It also comes with a 24-ounce mixing cup. They claim it also comes with a 3-year limited warranty. And the Cuisinart is made in China. The Cuisinart is just over 50 watts without a load, and it's just over 12,000 RPM for the Cuisinart. The Cuisinart is very close to 74.9 decibels. The Cuisinart weighs right at 720 grams. And the Cuisinart immediately went into attack mode and the frozen berries never stood a chance. And the Cuisinart remained around 100 watts during most of the tests with a peak energy use of around 162 as the Cuisinart is designed to lift and shred. And that's a very nice looking smoothie, possibly the best yet. Subtracting the weight of the strainer and it's 1.4 ounces and the Cuisinart moves into the lead. At a price of $60 is this Colarlemo brand. They claim it has the most powerful motor yet at 1800 watts. They claim it's a 4-in-1 hand blender stick for ice crushing, smoothie, baby food, and soup. The motor includes 8 variable speeds as well as a turbo boost. They claim a speed of up to 14,000 RPM. The kit includes a handheld blender stick, a 500 milliliter chopper, 600 milliliter beaker, and a whisk. And the Colarlemo is made in China. The Colarlemo has the highest no-load energy use yet at around 92 watts. The Colarlemo is just over 13,300 RPM. And the Colarlemo is right at 73.5 decibels. And it's 868 grams for the Colarlemo. The Colarlemo is making a lot of noise and using a lot of energy at just over 200 peak watts during the test. However, it's just not lifting and then chopping the berries nearly as well as the Cuisinart. The design of the head and the blades is making a huge difference in performance among the brands. Definitely not the worst looking smoothie or the best. And the Colarlemo left a lot of berries untouched. And it's 6.6 ounces of berries for the Colarlemo. At a price of $70 is this Braun brand. They claim it has a 400 watt motor. It also has 21 blending speeds with a turbo. It has splash control technology to virtually eliminate splashing. We're going to test that. They also claim easy cleanup. And the Braun is designed in Germany and made in Romania. After a few seconds, the Braun has settled down to around 45 watts. The Braun is about average at around 14,200 RPM. And the Braun is relatively quiet at 68.6 decibels. And the Braun weighs 802 grams. With a name like Braun, expectations are pretty high. And the Braun is doing a great job of avoiding splash and splatter. After about 15 seconds, the Braun is really showing a lot of progress and has reached near the bottom of the cup. The Braun reached a peak energy use of 216 watts. And the Braun did make a decent looking smoothie, but there's more berries compared to the Cuisinart. And the Braun moves into 3rd place behind the Mueller at 2.4 ounces. At a price of $80 is this Ninja brand. They claim the motor produces a peak of 750 watts. The kit includes a power base, a 9-inch immersion blending arm, a rapid whisk, a 4-cup blending vessel with lid, and a recipe guide. It comes with a splatter shield to help prevent making messes. The immersion blender has 4 different speed settings. And the Ninja is made in China. The Ninja is very energy efficient at 38.3 no-load watts. The Ninja produced just over 15,000 RPM. And it's 68.7 decibels for the Ninja. And the Ninja is the heaviest yet at 1,042 grams. The Ninja may have a powerful motor, but the blade and head design just isn't doing a very good job of attacking the berries. However, the Ninja did reach a peak energy use of around 235 watts during the test. And the 30-second test is finished, and the Ninja really struggled on this test, leaving behind a lot of unfinished business. And it's 6.2 ounces for the Ninja. At a price of $150 is this All-Clad brand. They claim it's an electric stainless steel immersion blender with a 2-piece turbo function. The electric motor is supposed to produce 600 watts. They claim it has an extra long 9 1/4 inch drive shaft that reaches deep into bowls. Powerful motor is supposed to blend foods in seconds from milkshakes to baby food. It has a variable speed dial and a turbo button to adjust the speed. And the All-Clad is made in China. The All-Clad is holding pretty steady at around 50 watts. The All-Clad does have a little bit more blade speed than the Ninja at just over 15,100 RPM, and the All-Clad is right at 74.9 decibels. The All-Clad is the heaviest yet at 1,126 grams. The All-Clad seems very well designed for the task at hand, and it isn't wasting any time attacking the frozen berries. It's hard to believe how much better some of these immersion blenders perform compared to some of the other brands. And the All-Clad made it to around 255 peak watts, which is quite a bit. And that's a very nice looking smoothie. And the All-Clad moves into second place behind the Cuisinart at 1.5 ounces. And the most expensive immersion blender we'll be testing is made by Vitamix and costs $200. It's a 3-piece bundle with whisk attachment, storage case, and a professional grade hand blender. They claim premium engineering with stainless steel and a 4-prong blade. It even includes a 3-year warranty. They claim it features a robust 625 watt motor. The electric motor also has 5 different speed settings. And the Vitamix is made in China. The Vitamix is using around 58 watts without a load, and 14,600 RPM is a little bit faster than average, and is 72.6 decibels for the Vitamix. The Vitamix is relatively heavy at 1,196 grams, and the Vitamix pretty much went straight to the bottom of the cup on the first few attempts and is making this look way too easy. And it reached a peak energy consumption of around 317 watts, the most yet. And the Vitamix is absolutely destroying these berries in a very fast and furious way. While it is highly subjective, this looks to be by far the best looking smoothie yet, and the Vitamix moves into the lead at only 0.9 ounces, very impressive! So the Vitamix came out on top at 0.9 ounces. The Cuisinart finished in second place at 1.4 ounces and All-Clad third at 1.5. Weight is sometimes an indicator of build quality, and the Vitamix weighs almost twice as much as some of the other brands at 1,196 grams. The All-Clad is also pretty heavy at 1,126 grams and Ninja 1,042 grams. If you're looking for an immersion blender that doesn't make a lot of noise, the KitchenAid is relatively quiet at 66.5 decibels. ZKBHOME is almost as quiet at 67.2 decibels, and Braun 68.6. Some of the immersion blenders claim to have splash and splatter control technology, so let's test that next using a 50-50 mixture of water and soup. I'll add right at 17 ounces of soup to the bowl. With the head of the immersion blender submerged, the OVENTE did not make a mess. With the blender powered on, before lowering the blender into the soup, no mess. However, soup did spill out of the bowl once it was lifted. The ZKBHOME is a lot more powerful, and it created a soup wave that spilled over the side of the bowl. Only a small amount of splatter when entering and then exiting the soup while powered on. The Mueller did a terrific job of containing all the soup inside the bowl. When powered on, it made a mess-free entry and almost perfect exit with tiny soup droplets. Just like the ZKBHOME, the Ganiza created a small soup wave that created a small spill. The ZKBHOME also created splatter entering and once again exiting the soup. The Turelar did a great job of keeping the soup inside the bowl. It made a clean power entry, but the messiest exit yet with quite a bit of splatter. The KitchenAid did a terrific job fully immersed during the test. During the power entry, just a small mess, but the power exit was the messiest yet. The Cuisinart is very well designed for quick work, but it makes huge waves. The power entry and exit did not go so well either. The Colarlemo made a pretty big wave, but not quite as much as the Cuisinart. The power entry and exit was also less messy compared to the Cuisinart. The Braun claims to have splash control, and it did a terrific job on this test. The power entry and exit was almost perfect with just a couple of small soup droplets. The Ninja performed better than average with just a small spill. The power entry and exit also went very well for the Ninja. The All-Clad is designed for maximum blending performance, and it makes quite the soup tsunami. The power entry and exit is mostly splash, but a small amount of splatter as well. Pairing up the Vitamix in a bowl is a lot like trying to run a jet ski inside of a bathtub. What a mess! There wasn't much soup to work with for the power entry and exit. Assessing performance is highly subjective, but 5 of the blenders received the best possible rating of 1 for splash and splatter when fully immersed. Pulling off a splatter-free entry and exit while powered on is incredibly challenging. However, the Mueller, Braun, and Ninja did an amazing job with an almost perfect score of 1.5. In the next test, let's add 6 ounces of ice and 7 ounces of water, and let's see which immersion blender offers the best crushing power to make a slushy. Just like with the mixed berries, the OVENTE just isn't doing a very good job of attacking the ice. Some of the immersion blenders are designed to create a suction vortex, which works very well for the task at hand. And the 30-second test is finished, and there's still some ice chunks remaining. The strainer weighs 11.4 ounces without the ice and 14.2 ounces with the ice, which works out to 2.8 ounces of ice remaining. The ZKBHOME performed better than the OVENTE on the berries, and the ZKBHOME is also performing better once again on the ice. And the ZKBHOME has a much more powerful motor, and it isn't losing as much blade speed during the test. After shaking out the slushy mix, there's only a few pieces of ice remaining, and it's 0.3 ounces of ice for the ZKBHOME to move into the lead. The Mueller performed very well pulverizing the frozen berries, and the Mueller continues to impress with the ice. The Mueller does does create a pretty strong suction vortex, and that's really helping. And the 30-second test is finished, and there's only a few very small pieces of ice remaining. And the amount of ice is just too little for the scale to measure. The Ganiza makes plenty of power, but it's just not doing a very good job of attacking the ice. The Ganiza really struggled to pulverize the frozen berries, and the ice is also a challenge. And the 30-second test is finished, and there are still some ice chunks remaining. And 0.8 ounces is good enough to move into second place behind the ZKBHOME. The Turelar really struggled with the frozen berries, and it seems to be struggling the most yet once again. The blade just isn't pulverizing the ice. And the 30-second test is finished, and unfortunately there's quite a bit of ice remaining in the strainer. And 1.2 ounces moves the Turelar into fourth place behind the OVENTE. The KitchenAid is doing a much better job of attacking the ice compared to the Turelar. The KitchenAid is creating a powerful vortex and lifting the ice directly into the path of the blade. Now that's a pretty nice looking slushy. And there's only a couple of small pebbles of ice remaining. The Cuisinart performed extremely well on the frozen berry test and is once again doing a terrific job with the ice. The blade and head design of this immersion blender is also pretty impressive. Just like the KitchenAid, the Cuisinart has made a very nice looking slushy with only one tiny particle of ice remaining. The Colarlemo isn't performing quite as well as the Cuisinart, but it's definitely performing better than most of the other brands. However, the Colarlemo is lifting the ice above the blender head, making this task more difficult. And all but a few chunks of ice remain, and there's not enough ice remaining for the scale to measure. The Braun performed very well with the frozen berries, and it continues to impress with the ice. The head is very well designed with no visible splatter taking place. And the Braun has also made a very nice looking slushy, and there's only one very small piece of ice remaining. Just like the Colarlemo, the Ninja is also lifting the ice above the head, making this task more difficult. However, the Ninja does have a very powerful electric motor. Just like the Braun, the Ninja made a very nice looking slushy with only a couple of small pieces of ice remaining. The All-Clad did an amazing job with the frozen berries and is doing an amazing job once again with the ice. Just like with the Ninja, the slushy ice is forming above the head, making this task more difficult. And the All-Clad performed very well, only leaving behind one very small pebble of ice. The Vitamix came out on top with the frozen berries, and the Vitamix seems to be in a league of its own on this test. The Vitamix seems to be finished after only 10 seconds, but this is a 30-second test. And the Vitamix more than finished the job without a single piece of ice remaining. Very impressive! Most of the brands did successfully remove all but a couple of small pieces of ice that were too light to measure with the weight scales. I also put the blenders through an endurance test, churning water for 3 minutes. All the blenders did survive the test without the outside case becoming too hot to the touch. However, the Ganiza and the Ninja did begin smoking near the end of the 3-minute test. All the blenders did survive without damage. So which brand won this showdown? The left side of the chart includes the ungraded areas of the review that were not included in calculating the winner. On the other hand, the right side of the chart does include the graded areas. And the very affordable Mueller came out on top with the best average finish of 2.3. It performed very well in every category of testing and would definitely be my choice if it's all about value. The Braun also performed well with an average finish at 2.7. While it is highly subjective, the build quality of the Braun does seem to be a little bit better than the build quality of the Mueller. However, it's also more expensive at a price of around $70. And the Vitamix ran circles around the competition for pulverizing the berries and ice, but it can be pretty messy with so much power on tap. If we get rid of Splash and Splatter as a graded area, the Vitamix is a clear winner. In my opinion, it does seem to have by far the best build quality, but it is pretty expensive at a price of around $200. Me personally, I am willing to deal with Splash and Splatter in exchange for better blending performance. So for a price of $59, I really like the Cuisinart and would definitely be my choice. I've been putting together these reviews for over 9 years, and I'm still amazed to see so much difference among the brands. All the reviews in this channel, including this one, are viewer suggested, so if you have a video idea, I hope you'll take time to leave a comment. Thanks so much for watching, please take care, and look forward to next time.